Ryan Reynolds, the king of comedic irreverence, is now entangled in a scandal that could shatter everything he's built. Behind the laughter and the sharp wit, a legal battle looms, one that has shocked the Hollywood elite and left Marvel fans gasping. The truth? Ryan Reynolds and the studio that helped make Deadpool a global sensation are at odds in a very public lawsuit, and the stakes are higher than anyone could have imagined. It all began innocently enough with Ryan's ongoing role as Deadpool, the beloved anti-hero who redefined superhero films. Fans adored the character, and Ryan's unique brand of humor had catapulted the franchise into untold success. But behind the scenes, things were unraveling. Rumors swirled that a personal feud between Ryan's wife, Blake Lively, and director, Justin Baldoni, had taken a dangerous turn. What started as a creative difference escalated into accusations that would soon rock the entire Marvel universe. Blake Lively, once seen as Ryan's shining counterpart, found herself in the middle of a professional storm. She signed on to star in a film directed by Justin Baldoni, a man who had earned acclaim for his heartfelt stories. From the outset, everything seemed perfect. Their collaboration was filled with praise and promises of a smooth production. However, the seeds of tension were already planted. Blake, used to being in control of her projects, reportedly felt overshadowed by Justin's triple role as director, screenwriter, and lead actor. Her frustration simmered, but she kept it largely hidden until cracks began to show. Behind the polished interviews and public appearances, Blake's dissatisfaction festered. Whispers emerged that she felt Justin was dominating the creative process, overshadowing her at every turn. Publicly, Blake played the charming, graceful actress, but privately, sources say she was unhappy. Even her subtle remarks hinted at underlying tension. Eventually, Blake began to assert that Justin had orchestrated negative press about her, painting her as difficult and self-absorbed. It was a classic Hollywood power struggle, but this time things went much deeper than anyone realized. When the story broke that Blake had accused Justin of manipulating the press, the situation took a shocking turn. It wasn't just Hollywood gossip anymore. Blake claimed that Justin, with his control over the project, used his connections to paint her in a bad light. Her accusation was weighty, and sympathy momentarily swayed in her direction. After all, this was a story we'd all heard before. Powerful male directors targeting female leads. But just when the narrative seemed to favor Blake, the walls began to crumble. Text messages emerged, and they revealed something far more unsettling. Blake had allegedly been behind the press leaks herself. Even more surprising, the texts suggested that she wasn't working alone. She had the full support of her husband, Ryan Reynolds. The messages, laden with threats and demands, hinted that Blake had used her extensive network, including Ryan, to push for changes in the script and control over the promotional narrative. These dragons she referred to weren't just a metaphor. They were real people, pulling strings to get what she wanted. Fans were left in shock, grappling with the question, had Blake manipulated the situation for her own gain? And if she had, what role did Ryan play in this tangled web? Ryan, a master of brand synergy and fan adoration, had become the face of the Deadpool franchise. His comedic persona was inseparable from the character, and his social media presence had only solidified his connection with fans. But now, his involvement in his wife's behind-the-scenes drama cast a long shadow over his beloved Deadpools. The scandal escalated. Marvel executives started to get nervous. The tight-knit world of Marvel had always prided itself on the positive public image of its stars, and Ryan Reynolds, with his razor-sharp wit, was a cornerstone of that image. But now, with rumors swirling of Ryan's involvement in manipulating press coverage and playing behind-the-scenes power games, the very foundation of Marvel's brand was at risk. Marvel had always weathered controversies privately. This was a company that knew how to spin a good story, but this time things were different. The stakes were too high. They couldn't afford to let this slide. The tipping point came when Marvel filed a lawsuit against Ryan Reynolds. The allegations? A breach of contract and reputational harm. Marvel had uncovered communications that seemed to confirm their worst fears. Ryan and Blake's actions had put the Deadpool franchise at risk. It was clear now that Marvel believed the couple's behind-the-scenes maneuvering had crossed a line, threatening the very essence of the brand that Ryan had helped build. Fans, once loyal to the Deadpool star, were left reeling. Could the man, who had breathed life into Deadpool's comedic chaos, really be guilty of undermining the very... As the legal battle raged on, some within the industry began to ask if this was the beginning of the end for Ryan Reynolds. Could his comedic brand, which had once made him an untouchable star, survive the fallout from this lawsuit? Could he ever reclaim his place in Hollywood if the court of public opinion turned against him? Marvel's move to sue was a bold one, and it made one thing clear. They were willing to risk it all to protect their brand. The implications of this lawsuit reached far beyond the Deadpool films. Hollywood, ever the fickle beast, watched with bated breath as Ryan Reynolds' empire seemed to teeter on the edge of collapse. The future of Deadpool and Ryan's career hung in the balance. But Blake's troubles were far from over. With her reputation now under intense scrutiny, questions about her role in the drama continued to grow. Could she ever bounce back from the damage done to her public image? Hollywood is a tough place, and for someone who had once been seen as a beloved star, Blake now faced the harsh reality of the industry's unforgiving gaze. As the dust settled, and the legal drama played out in courtrooms and tabloids alike, one thing was certain. The line between stardom and scandal is razor thin, and for Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Marvel, the fallout from this battle could reshape their careers forever.